Hello, folks. Hope everyone is well. So today, I'm going to speak about relationships again. Yeah. Let's talk about seventh house from Venus. Now, the seventh house from Venus is said to be the place, the house, that can give you an idea about the characteristics of your spouse. There are obviously other ways to tell. You have to see the seventh lord, what sign it sits in, the nature of that planet, what nakshatra it sits in. But certainly, seventh from Venus will give you some clues as well. And more than that, seventh from Venus will draw the partner toward you or push them away. Planets here will help us determine the nature of the attraction or the nature of the repulsion. Yeah, so let's talk further. So if it's a retrograde planet sitting seventh from Venus, then it can feel like an on and off energy with the person, your partner, the person that you're attracting. Remember, Venus is the epitome of the water element, Jal Tattva. So Jal Tattva is basically one of the five Tattvas, right? Moon, of course, is an embodiment also of Jal Tattva, but so is Venus. And water, of course, is not only how the universe is created, but also what we as human beings are mainly composed of. Venus is also known as Shukra, the significator of desire, ruling love, affection, relationships, romance, devotion, poetry, arts, sweetness. The sweetness in life generally, not necessarily just relationships. Certainly it rules marriage. Flowers, attraction, infatuation. Yeah. And of course money. We also see the dignity of Venus for money matters. It's the primary ruler of Jal Tattva, the primordial element of water that governs Tithis also. And that's another thing that we look at for relationships, right? The Tithi that you're born under. Shukra, therefore, rules ovaries, testicles, reproductive organs, sexuality, your libido. And of course, Shukra can also be the healer, the rejuvenator, and therefore one who brings back the dead through its mysterious powers of rejuvenation, of healing. Seventh house from Shukra is the most important because that's where the water is flowing. So we have to see planets that are sitting in the seventh from Venus. This will pinpoint the nature of the spouse, where they're coming from. Yeah, because it's pulling that person that from the seventh house. So what if you have Moon sitting in seventh from Venus? Well, you can expect the spouse to have an emotional, sensitive, caring nature. But there can be a constant fluctuation in their moods. There can be an on and off energy with them also, up, down, right? This person can be fond of traveling, moving around. So perhaps once you start living together or once you get married, you can expect to change your residence. And this person will want someone understanding. This is also applicable if your Venus is sitting in Capricorn and Cancer is falling seventh from Venus. And maybe you don't have any planets there. What happens if Mars is in seventh from Venus? Well, you can expect your partner to be energetic, physically active, could be dominating, aggressive as well. And you will very much want a passionate attraction, a passionate relationship. In fact, without the passion in the relationship, you will feel that something is missing. This is also the same, of course, if Mars is the ruling planet of 7th from Venus. Okay? So if Venus is sitting in its own sign of Taurus and Libra, this would apply. In fact, this is known as the Shiv Shakti Yoga, where we can say that there's a past life connection. Because Mars Mangal is basically what? Blood. Yeah. So here the partner can be a good cook if you have Mars across from Venus, or Mars is ruling the house across from Venus. They can be very hospitable too. They'll likely have a straightforward nature. Yeah. But they could be injury prone. Of course, it depends on what's happening elsewhere in the chart and in their chart. Now, if it's Jupiter in the 7th from Venus, then the person will be educated, wise. It could give someone a little bit on the heavier side, bigger side. Jupiter 7th from Venus, you can experience a rise in your social and economic status after marriage. And partner will bring some upliftment in life. Now, of course, this depends on the dignity of Jupiter, right? The partner also tends to be accepting of others and perhaps even popular with others. Yeah. Now, what if Saturn is 7th from Venus? Then, of course, it's going to bring delays in marriage, right? It's also going to bring a traditional partner, someone perhaps somewhat a little simple. Yeah. They simple in the sense that they may not be well dressed. They may not be very outgoing. They may not be very extroverted. Of course, it depends on the sign where Saturn is sitting, right? For instance, if Saturn is sitting in Libra, that's going to be less the case. But there can be slow growth here. Like, for example, the relationship may progress slowly. Ketu in 7th from Venus can be problematic. This can create misunderstandings between you. And Rahu does this, actually, because Rahu's sitting right next to Venus. And then Ketu will create the separation. Yeah. This is, of course, very much a past life. It's very much a past life connection. It can also make you very overpossessive in relationships with Venus and Rahu together. If Venus is sitting in Aquarius, you take the sun, right? The sun is going to be the ruling planet because Leo will be 7th from there. And here the person can be dominating. They can be famous. They can be very well known in their community. And for them, self-respect would be very important. If Mercury rules the 7th from Venus, then you would attract someone younger. Certainly someone who's youthful in their appearance, in the way that they conduct themselves. They feel younger, even if they're not actually young. Business-minded, talkative, multitasker, someone who has varied interests. Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's just a snapshot of 7th from Venus. And to my regular viewers, my dog is saying hello. All right, that's all for now. Cheers. Take care.